So clearly they endured something pretty intense.
There was 2 women
Yes.
and 7 guys. So
Right.
to me, that's a problem already. Especially,
Eyebrows missing, burn marks,
Mhm.
eyeballs missing, tongue missing.
The bones decaying to that degree in just 4 years. I just don't see that type of decay going.
There's just so much that's off about on both sides. Both sides seem real suspect. I know it's the South, so maybe dental records are a bit trickier down there because they only have maybe 1 or 2 teeth to identify them by.
Have you guys ever had that? Like, you've driven by a house out in the middle of nowhere. You're like, I wonder who lives there. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be one of those. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Singed Eye. Yes, it's still a thing. Singed Eye Socket is still a thing, guys. Okay. Life keeps life and things happen. So consistency over the last few months has been a little rough, but we're still here. JG's Lounge is still grinding and going. You know, I've been keeping the flow. So, hey, we hit over 1 million viewers every week across all the platforms, and that's because of you guys. That's why we're doing this. We'd probably still do it if you weren't here, but hey, it's nice to have some viewers. Just gonna throw it out there. Anyways, we got a few guests with us. Well, they're not guests; they're co-hosts because they're in all of them. To my left is Ev.O.Lution, man. How you doing?
I am doing good. I am not fantastic, but fighting off a little bug. Hopefully, I can get it going before it, totally consumes. Uh, but anyway, life is good. Everything's going great. Uh, Excited to be on one of these shows again.
Oh, it's nice.
We've been busy. All of our schedules are crazy right now, but
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
it's good to be back in one of these Singed Eye Socket episodes.
Yeah, I do. I love the Sin Show, man. Of everything we do, this and then Sean's conspiracy thing are a lot of fun. Our consistently inconsistent are a lot of fun. I don't even really do Stardom anymore. Not that I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm just like I feel like I've developed so many like more intense shows with you guys, and I prefer just doing that. Sean, man, how you been?
Good, man. Just been, school started back up, so I started teaching again. One of the cool things is I'm actually teaching an improv class at the college. So that I'm having a lot of fun with that. Winter weather's been kind of terrible up here in Michigan, and it's tough, man, because the comedy season is always busiest during the winter, and it's always the worst time to drive. And man, I've been caught in a lot of snow, so I'm ready for spring to get here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get around to something here. I don't know. They're the like 4 different news stations saying 4 different things. I don't even know.
Yeah,
they don't have a clue. They're always so many percentage of this, possibility of that. They never know until it actually happens.
Sean, Ev.O.Lution, are you over there open gifts?
No.
Yeah, because it was like, what is that sound? It sounds like something's crawling through the wall.
I got little snacks going on over here. But yeah, that's the one job that you can get wrong all the time and still keep your job. Being a meteorologist.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They wait to see what's happening outside. Oh, now it's 100% chance that this is going to happen because it's actually happening now.
All right, let's get into this. Let's jump into it. So, it's August 23rd, 1912. And it's Louisiana. And this upper class family, Percy and Leslie Dunbar, and their kids Alonzo and Bobby, are going to the lake. They're going to Swayze Lake in southern central Louisiana, which I'll pull up a map here in a second. Actually, I'll probably pull it up right now. They're going to do a little camping. What's up? Why are you laughing, Sean?
I had the Family Guy, Peter Griffin, Roadhouse. Crazy Lake.
That's funny.
where they
Yeah.
go down to train the lifts, where they pick the girl up for dirty dancing. Anyway,
If you look down to the right of the screen below me, it's Saint something parish. It'll come up in the story here in a little bit, but that's the area in which they live. They're more of an upper class family in the area, but they're just doing a family trip to the lake, and well, that night, their son Bobby goes missing, and nobody knows why. He's just gone in the middle of the night. Bobby is 4 at the time. The next day, they start searching for him, and they can't find him after a few hours. So Percy goes back to town, and he brings like 18 guys back with him. They're searching, but Swayze Lake at the time was a very swamp infested lake. Lots of gators, lots of just thick bush. I mean, there's even some of the reports say that you couldn't see more than 10 feet in front of you
Hmm.
because of that thick of bush. Um, they spend 18 hours. They spend 18 hours looking for him. They can't find him. So a lot of the crew stay in search, but Percy and Lessie take Alonzo back home. So Percy, let's see what else we got here. They end up bringing dynamite and dynamiting parts of the stream, trying to surface anything because they're like, well, maybe the gators got him. Maybe he drowned. Nothing. They don't find anything. They end up spending about 3 days searching for him all over the area, and they can't find Bobby. So there's one thing I got to say about this time and this time frame or era. The press is kind of like the news. Social media wasn't a thing. TV wasn't a thing. So press is what the news was, and it didn't matter what tabloid you were with. They wanted the most interesting story. It didn't even have to be true. They're just like,
Hmm.
we want readers because that's money.
Hmm.
So stories started coming out. Um, let's see here. What's the first one here? During the during this time, the press was all about getting readers. So one report said that Bobby disappeared in his sleep. Another report said that Percy was going down to the lake and Bobby followed him. He told Bobby to go back to the camp, which was over a mile away, and he never made it back to camp. So that kind of gears it towards Percy to be at blame. Um, right here is kind of where my starting point with this case was like, okay, this press is going to have a lot to do with this whole case, and it does. They pull whirlwinds of like scenarios out of the hat that makes no sense. My opinion is if he went out in the middle of the night, there's gators everywhere. Something got him.
Hmm.
That's just what I'm thinking. What have you? Either one of you been in swamp areas in Louisiana? I've never even been to Louisiana.
I drove on the highway past that, and the highway kind of goes right down the middle. Uh, it's not a place that you would want to be. I,
Right.
I wouldn't call that the lake. Um, it's just probably gator infested. There's like little trees sticking up here and there,
Yeah.
but mostly swampland. Not nothing that I would want to be a part of. I'll just say it like that.
Right. Right. What do you got, John? What do you got so far? Have you ever been in the swampy areas or?
um, I have, but the thing is, there's like degrees of swamp down there. Like you've got
Mhm.
the swampy areas, the stuff that's somewhat near like civilization, and then you have like bayou in like deep swamp where you know if you don't know where you're going, you're lost and they're not going to find you. And it's the one thing, like Evo was saying, it's not a place you want to be because when you get down to those swampy areas, you really start to understand why like hoodoo and voodoo and the different things that the mysticism of the South and stuff like that. When you start getting into the swamp, you get why stuff is creepy. It's not just the things that that we know exist down there, like the gators and
Right.
everything
Mhm.
else.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah, Janet said dynamite. Sounds like they're not expecting to find the kid. Yeah.
Probably.
3 days after they stopped the search, so it's it's they the first report says that they think he was eaten by gators. But the problem with that theory is that there was no trace of anything. There would be at least some sort of clothing, traces of clothing,
I'm not
something,
certain about that because he was 4,
right?
and a gator is just going to swallow you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
One
fair.
chomp, maybe two, but shoes and everything, they're gone, dude.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking there probably wouldn't be any evidence for a 4-year-old child if a gator got a hold of him, especially if it's a nice sized gator.
Right. Well, not to mention the fact that, that's gators don't typically like with, I mean, if it swallowed it whole, sure. But don't gators take and do a death roll and then they tuck their food away underwater so it will uh, get tenderized, so to
Hmm.
speak?
Yep, they
Yeah,
do.
I've heard of that.
Okay.
So, s- at, one report a few days later came out with a speculation that he was kidnapped. There's no evidence during the search of that happening, but a small group of residents gathered $1,000 reward if anybody could find Bobby. Which just makes sense. Percy and Leslie both decide to, send out an appreciation in the local news saying, how much we appreciate your guys' help with the search of our child. Uh, some reports even believe that Bobby was brought to New Orleans by a woman on a train with a child matching his description. Police developed a story on a whim that the woman brought Bobby to New Orleans to take him to a logging cabin and be held for ransom.
Hmm.
Again, there's no evidence to support this claim, which quickly gets shot down. Reports from as far as California started coming in with the idea that he was kidnapped. No evidence at all to support anything. A month afterwards, a news story started circulating that Bobby was killed by his kidnappers. One detective said that they had two brothers, two Marshall brothers that they had under in custody because they thought that maybe they killed him, which they had to be released because there was no evidence for that. Several arrests were made over the next few months, being released after court orders saying that you can't hold them if you got nothing on them. So April 20th, 1913, weeks after, reports come in that Bobby Dunbar was found with a peddler in Mississippi named William Walters. Walters, after arrested, says that the child is not Bobby Dunbar, but Bruce Anderson, who was left in his custody from his mom, Julia Anderson, in December of 1911. Julie Anderson worked for Walter's parents, and she was comfortable with him taking him because they got along. They all knew each other. Um, April 21st, 1913, Percy and Leslie arrive to inspect the child. It's late at night. They get there. They're using these oil lamps trying to see. And she's like, I can't be for certain because it's so dark. He's sleeping. Some reports say that he woke up when she was there and immediately hugged her. Other reports said he woke up crying and kind of held back and had no clue who she was. But the next day, she got the opportunity to give him a bath and give him a further inspection. She noticed that he didn't have a scar on his body that was on before. And she's like, I'm almost certain that this is my kid. So they get to take
Oh,
him.
wait a minute.
Go
Whoa.
ahead. Go ahead.
You're almost certain that that's your kid?
Yes, almost certain.
This is a mom, right? This is a mother,
This is a
right?
mom. Yeah,
Okay, that's sketchy.
it is
But
sketchy.
wait,
It gets
she
better.
said she didn't find the scar, but she's almost certain.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, and just for everybody's edification, the reward for Bobby of 1,000 may not sound like a lot,
In
but
1912.
1912, that had the buying power, depending on what you were buying, of anywhere from 34,200 to $200,000.
Zim, welcome in, man. Yeah, no, it was definitely a well amount of money, and again, they're an upper class family. Percy worked for the government. He did a lot to do with like food rations and kind of financial assistance for the state. And he actually, a lot of people were not fond of him because ration portioning sometimes being cut back and things like that. So that added to some of the kidnapping speculation that maybe there were people that just was not happy with him, so they took him.
Mm.
You know, so there's a part of the theory right there. Let's keep going though. So Julie Anderson, who was contacted, Julie Anderson was the mom of the kid who Walters had. And she even confirmed that Walter's story was correct. She consented to him taking her kid in December of 2011 to to go for a few days, and this was now over a year later. That so whatever. So, but their stories synced up.
Mhm.
Walter's taking Bruce for a few days, but she was expecting him to come back. She worked for his parents and knew him as well as Bruce taking. So she was fine with him taking him for a little while. She asked for an opportunity to go see the kid, and the press jumped on it. They're like, "We'll pay your trip, get out here," So she shows up, and she is given a list of 5 children lined up, and one of them being the child that was returned to the Dunbars. And she immediately pointed him out of the crowd, and she gets a closer look at again. So he was 3 when she had him initially. Now he's like 5 years old. And he's kind of upset and crying. He's not really talking to her. He's not showing that he acknowledges who she is. And even she's like, I'm pretty sure this is my kid, but I don't know.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Pretty sure.
So what are we thinking so far with the way this is going?
You go ahead, Sean.
It just, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of threads to this that are slowly being, pulled in
Uh,
to, I don't know, make enhance the mystery of it. But right now, we've essentially got this kid that we have these two moms who want their kid back. They're like, yeah, it could be. And this peddler who essentially kidnapped the kid, and nobody's batting an eye at that,
Right.
because he was supposed to be gone for a few days. Now it's been a year and some change. Um, and different speculation as to, the kidnapping, who did it, why, or was the kid gator food? I mean,
yeah,
there's nothing really to sink your teeth into, even though there's a lot of information so far.
right. What do you got?
Um, I'm gonna
Evolution,
say a lot of misinformation because the press stories don't even match up. You know what I
right?
mean?
Well, and
And
this is common. Zim says 5 years can and some time make a difference on a kid's face, but that big of a change. This is only a little over a year. I mean,
yeah.
it was the end. It was the end of his year of being 3,
Hmm.
and a year and a half went by because this is April of 13. He was
Hmm.
taken in December of 11. So I mean, there's a little gap from the kid's perspective. First off, I think this kid's probably super distraught because he's been
Yeah,
voted off left and right. So I
absolutely.
don't expect him not to be confused.
Hmm.
You know. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, the misinformation with the press and the news. And then the biggest red flag to me is the mother don't know who the child is. And I know that the age
Yeah.
factor might be a little bit of a change in the way the child looks. However, the mark that the mother was looking for was not there.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm a parent and I know my kids, you know what I'm saying? If there's a mark, like a birthmark or whatever, that was there from previous years, they just don't disappear. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
And Jan even mentioned that just now on Facebook. She said the
uh,
same thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think between those two things and the gator factor in a swamp, usually when a child or anybody disappears in the swamp, like Sean said, they're gator food, uh, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, there's other thing. I mean, there's gar in there. There's probably a few other fish that would probably eat him.
Dude, they have
Not just
wildcats
gators.
down there. They have
Yeah.
pumas and
There
things.
and even these they're damn near jungle swamp. These swamps are so thick. I mean, it's jungle. You know,
Mm.
Yeah,
gnats, mosquitoes, insects. I mean, there's a
snakes.
number of things.
Snakes,
Snakes.
yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to show you guys this.
Okay.
If it'll open. The boy on the left is Bobby Dunbar.
Mm-hmm.
The boy on the right is the boy that was found.
Oh wow, dude! I can see well. Here's the thing, though. If the kid doesn't have the mark, that mom needs to bow out of the race. I know she wants her kid back, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a dead giveaway. You don't lose marks.
Right.
But the mom that lent the kid out to that peddler, I mean, I could see why she'd be confused. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of them. I mean, you got this family that is distraught because their kid disappeared in the middle of the night. And then you've got this other one that knew that she was with somebody. And now there's this family saying, nope, it's ours.
Well,
So,
he's definitely been eating good.
oh, yeah. No, he looks
He didn't
healthy.
put on
Looks,
a little bit of pounds there. He's been
yeah,
eating steaks and
a little bit of
potatoes and
weight.
stuff.
But
Uh,
I don't know. It's tough. Even Zim 8191 says I'm confused too. Good. Cause so are we. So are we, man.
it's
So
very
are we.
a lot of familiar, right? I mean, that's identical. You know,
It's
pretty
close.
pretty close.
It's kind of like Gypsy Rose's mom and husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You know,
just
not for nothing, but that kid kind of looks like Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
it probably was him. Oh, hi, Yanet. It's Yanet. Hi, Yanet.
Hey, Janet, what's going
All
on?
right. All right. So after this, says she's uncertain. So the following day, she has to talk to him again. By this time, the press had already released her lack of confidence in the report. Some articles portraying her as an unfit mother because she wasn't certain.
Mm,
Which I mean, I get it, but I mean, so it's been over a year. I mean,
right, right.
she just can't be certain. I mean, and if he's not running to her to give her a hug and cry, upset, it's gonna be tough to be like yeah. I mean, I'm trying to ear on both sides here because neither one of these sides of the families I feel like are doing anything wrong, right?
And you're correct when you say the child will be definitely screwed in the brain because if he was with parents for 4 years and all of a sudden got snatched by somebody else for a year or over a
Uh,
year, that's a lot that goes on in that time frame in a young child's mind. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So a lot of confusion is going to be like, what the heck, you know?
right.
Yeah, I think we're missing another point here. This was back in a time. Well, first of all, I don't know if you know this, but you guys used to be able to mail kids through the post office back then. Did you guys know that? Yeah,
Yes.
No,
you could mail
wow.
kids, and if you had too many kids, you could pawn them off to the relatives or sell them. Like there are old photos from this time period where people are literally selling their children. So this mom might have showed up, and it's like the whole. Do you remember the movie Overboard,
Uh
where
huh.
the husband shows up and he's like, "Oh, that's not her at all," and just leaves?
Uh huh.
Maybe
True.
she's playing doubtful because she doesn't want another fucking dependent or
Yep.
freaking. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Julie ends up telling a reporter, she's like, I believe this is my son Bruce, but I can't confirm it. I have suffered so much and cannot take this child away from the Dunbars, but I do believe this is my boy.
Hmm.
Uh, forget about it. Says, I was mailed in for mail. I was born in 1543. Oh, I met Leonardo da Vinci. Cool. Interesting comment.
I
All
ignored
right.
because you use CE Common Era. Meh.
That's good. Okay. One thing that Julia does say in her, talking to the press was that the year that she lost Bruce, She also lost a child and gave one up for adoption because she just is not well off. She's a struggling mom. She actually is a caretaker for the William Walters parents, which is how they knew each other.
Hmm.
So, I mean, their stories are lining up. I mean, it's not like she's saying that he's wrong, but it's kind of like the dude kidnapped her because she's like, he was only supposed to take her for a few days or take
Hmm.
him for a few days. It's been over a year. What's up?
Hmm.
Um, being uncertain the following day, she asked to talk to him again. Um, Articles portrayed her as an unfit. That same year, the Walters left with her son. I already said all this. Okay. Percy told reporters that same day that this is the last time my child will be examined. He's our child. I will never give him up, whether court order or not. And
Wow.
Julia couldn't afford to fight the Dunbars in court, so she just returned home, which is tough. That's tough.
Okay.
Yeah. The focus turns towards Walters as an alleged kidnapper. Multiple sources came forward about Walters with the child prior to Bobby's disappearance. So people are saying, yeah, we saw him with this kid before Bobby even disappeared. Due to the large amounts of press on the case, someone had to be held accountable for the kidnapping of Bobby. So Walter stuck to his stories, saying he didn't kidnap him. He was given to him by Julia. Stories unfolded that Percy had many people unhappy with him because he worked for the government and controlled food rations across the state. And there were several people that were unhappy. So there's theories out there that maybe Walters was hired to take the boy, right? But there has never been a ransom. There's never no ransom ever showed up. There's no theory to back the fact that he was kidnapped. One statement swore under oath that Walters was on his property on the 23rd and 24th, the day of and the day after Bobby disappeared, working on his machines, which was confirmed by both him and Walter. So Walter's stories are like being confirmed by other people, you know, and he's still being held for kidnapping. On April 27th, 1930, Walters was found guilty without capital punishment and sentenced to life in prison for kidnapping. Walter's lawyers quickly filed an appeal, saying it was unconstitutional. The Louisiana Supreme Court said that they could not afford to fight it and thought it would be a waste of time, so they just let Walters go.
What?
Yes. Yes.
So, like, what? They opened up their pocketbook, a little moth flew out, and they just went, okay.
Well, I kind of burned through the story, to be honest with you, because so Bobby ends up just being raised by the Dunbar family under the name Bobby. Um, but what do you guys kind of feel about this? Because I felt like there was a lot of, and actually there's a little bit more, but I kind of want to dive a little bit into this. Um, what do you feel like either one was wrong and kind of reacting the way they were with the kid?
Well, you said something. I think I saw Sean react to it when Julia just went away.
Right.
Even if the financial support is not there to fight for your kid, if it's your child and you're a mother, I just can't.
Well,
I
she had
can't.
given
I
a kid.
can't.
She
I
gave a
can't
kid up.
see.
That
I can't
same
see
year
that.
that he disappeared, though, she lost a kid, death, and then she gave one up for adoption because for financial reasons. So I, the way that it kind of sounded was like she was totally fine with him taking him because the kid liked him, but it was only meant to be for a few days. It was never meant to be, over. What'd you do over that last year and a half? Just sit there waiting, like, oh, he'll be back. It's only been 4 months. It's only been 6 months. You know, I mean, she didn't even come until somebody reported that the kid was, where he was.
Yeah, that's strange. You got anything on that, Sean?
I just think she sounds like a Maury Povich mom, and he wasn't really too hot about having the kid, going back to my theory from before.
Mhm.
And you're right, it's a mom. So, she's not just going to piece off into the sunset without any sort of fight. I
Hmm.
think it was her kid. I
Mhm.
think she let the guy have the kid. He kept him.
Mhm.
And, she was fine with it because, whatever her reasoning is, like if she's
Hmm.
a bad mom, doesn't matter, whatever it is, she had a reason.
Yeah, it says she's emotionally unstable.
Yeah, she's got issues, right? But the thing is, Bobby's like the actual Bobby mom is, I think she's gone kind of wackadoo, and she sees this kid, and she's doing that cognitive dissonance thing where you make any excuse so that the lie is true in your head. And she's like,
Right.
no, this is Bobby, no, this is Bobby. And so you have the one side, she doesn't really want the kid, she's got mental problems, and was with this guy who, I don't think he really kidnapped him. He was just given this kid, and he was taking him along on his adventures. This stuff happened, and he went to jail for no good reason. And this, we don't have money to fight it. You said that these people are fairly well off. I
Yeah.
think it was a situation where they wanted it just to go away. So if this guy gets
Right.
released on his own recognizance, then they get to keep the kid. Bad mother goes off into the sunset, and the real victim is, if the Dunbars raise this kid well, then really we're still left with what the hell happened to Bobby.
Right.
Okay, so I got a thought.
Okay.
Um, so Julie knew the Dunbars, right?
Yes. No, 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 no. Julie knew Walter's parents because she was like cared for them.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
She had no connection with the Dunbars,
Mm-mm.
but she
No.
was struggling for money.
Yeah, she was financially not well off.
And then Walter, he had no connection with the Dunbars either, right?
Right.
And his story lined up.
Yeah, his story lined up with everybody. I mean, people confirmed these same, like literally the same scenarios that were presented. He's like, "Yeah, I did that." He didn't. He has not once said no, other than the fact that no, that's not Bobby. This is Bruce Anderson. He was given to me by his mother, and which in my as an officer, I'd be like, "That's the most dumbest shit I ever heard." I'm taking this kid, you know.
Right, right. Wow. And then she never even came to get the kid back.
uh,
Crazy.
it is. It's crazy.
Okay, well,
Well, so what do you got?
no, no, go ahead. I'm good.
So I do want to say that in 2004, Bobby Dunbar Jr. had his DNA tested with his cousins, which was Alonzo's child, and they did not match,
Huh. Surprise.
Hmm.
which means that this whole time it was not Bobby. It was Bruce Anderson.
Wow.
But then it comes back to the fact that they never actually found Bobby.
Exactly.
Of course.
Oh, it's
So
a
when
tough
they
one.
so when they did that DNA testing, did Bobby go back to? I mean, did
I
Bruce
mean,
get?
at this point, I would
They
assume
just
he's
kept
probably
him.
in his like 70s or 80s.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. If he's still around. Yeah, no, this was a tricky one, man. I liked the twists and the turns and the pulls from the two different aspects of this kid's life. And actually, I felt terrible for the kid because I'm thinking, okay, this 3-year-old kid wanders off with this dude traveling around. He's basically a peddler, just going around doing random jobs. And then all of a sudden, he's being claimed by someone he doesn't know, and he's probably scared. And then his mom shows up, but it's been over a year because I don't remember much about being 3.
Huh.
I don't know a whole lot about being 5 either, but I would probably be very confused as to what was going on.
Well, and I mean, yeah, maybe, his upbringing was, pretty nice being with the Dunbars. You said they were well off or
Right.
whatever. Sure, I bet it was an improvement from hanging out with a peddler, but I just have a sneaky suspicion that that mom, because she's letting all the fractures happen in her
Yeah.
story and still holding it together because mentally she has to make this okay.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
um, I can't imagine that she wasn't a helicopter parent for one, and Do you know what I mean? Just like you can hear the piano wires over tightening
Mm.
with
Right.
this woman, and you feel bad for her. Like it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's just like that's not your kid, lady.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I think, they just wanted a reason for him to be their kid. Like, even if they were uncertain that whole time, they just wanted it to be their kid. Like, we want him to be ours. Like, he's close enough. He's ours. It's him. You
I
know,
mean, because it
the
was a
scar
striking
thing.
resemblance for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
let me pull it up one more time here.
Yeah,
mhm.
Sorry,
that's
sorry,
nutty. How close
sorry.
that
Hold on.
is.
Mhm.
Wrong way. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. I mean, it's. I understand why they thought it was him, but after investigating, seeing the scar that wasn't there, like there's obvious things that point out that he's not yours.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, if I was missing my kid and searching for him for 8 months, and then it's like, boom, he's in front of me. He's not quite in front of me because I'm not sure that's him, but you know what? He's gonna be. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. And then you find out now it's like I said, too, that it was never Bobby. So Bobby, what happened? Why did he leave the tent at midnight? Why is a 4-year-old leaving a tent at midnight?
Well, who says that he left the tent? Somebody came and got him. You know what I mean? You talking about a
That's true.
swamp
I mean,
area,
I could
and
kind of see the theory of Percy going to the lake and him following him, and then be like, "No, go back to the tent, Bobby," and something happening to Bobby on the way back. Or did Percy do something to Bobby? I don't know what their
Exactly.
relationship was like. There's possibility that Percy offed Bobby. And to be honest, if we're going to break it down that far,
But didn't you say it was like quite some distance from the lake to the
it was
tent?
a mile from where they were heading to the lake
that's
to
crazy.
back to the tent or the campsite.
So if Percy just dismisses a 3-year-old in the middle of the night in a swamp
Yeah.
Hmm.
and expects him to get a mile through the swamp
Yeah.
back to the tent.
That's why I feel like it's somewhat far fetched. I would rather think that either like what Evolution said was either somebody came and took him from the tent, but then it's like, why did they take him?
Who would be out there to take him?
I
No
know
kidding. No
you're
kidding.
out in the middle of nowhere, swamp lakes, and I like unless somebody really had it out for him, knew that he was going to be there, and then snuck out there in the night and took the kid. It's much more possible that he had to go pee, and but if that's the case, and gators got him, I mean, gators don't wander that far away from water, do they? You're talking about
I
over a
mean,
mile.
I don't think so. I mean, if the mile was the closest proximity to water that they were, I don't think they go that far from.
I
The
mean,
water.
if it is a swampy area, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's possible that they
Uh-huh.
be somewhere around.
Dude, he might have got into quicksand too. I mean, I back where I grew up in Deer Creek, Indiana, we had swampland out in the country where I lived down the hill from my house, and it was swampy as shit back there. And we had quicksand, so it's wherever there's swamp, there's quicksand. That kid might have stepped into a quicksand pit and just zoom, gone.
Mhm.
That's fair too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they said that the officers were talking about how difficult it was to even search into the swamps because of how thick the brush was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his corpse could have been back there somewhere. Nobody spotted it. I don't know. There's a lot of theories. I think it was a really interesting story even today, because we haven't really dived into something like this, and where they showed back up, but it's he didn't really show back up, but it's and then the whole Walter being convicted, even though everybody's stories lined up with it. It's weird that Julia didn't. I get that she couldn't afford it, but I mean, as a parent, if she really wanted him, I don't think that would have been a positive. That wouldn't have been an excuse for me, even if I couldn't afford it. I would
Right,
have
right.
made a way. I would have made a way for that to happen.
Mhm.
You know, but then maybe she was scared that these Dunbars, these upper class family, would have came after her hard, or knew she couldn't afford what they can afford.
And since you mentioned that, maybe. her thoughts were, well, he'll be taken better care of with them than me. You know, out of my love for my child, I will just let them go because I know that they'll have a better life. I know it's weird, but sometimes people think like that.
That's true.
And how was her life after this thing happened? Because perhaps the Dunbars, off to the side said, "How much would it take to make you go away?"
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah. Yep. Well, this was a bit shorter, guys, but that's all I got. I thought it was interesting. I think the fact that it turns out it's not actually him makes it even more messed up.
Heck yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I cannot blame either side for doing what they did. In all honesty, you know.
Well, I mean, you got to look at how this all started. I mean, who would take their family to a lake
Yeah, said she killed her own.
swampland?
Wait, hold on. You said that she killed her own child. You no, her child passed on, but I don't think that if we're referring to Julia, it didn't say that she killed the child. It's just that the child died, and then they gave one up for adoption.
So where I was getting ready to go is, who would take their family to a swampland lake, uh, and put the tent like a mile away from where they were, and then have a child walk back that far?
Well, this would make sense to me if we're talking about the fact that gators can get that far off. I wouldn't want to be camped right next to a lake full of gators.
But then you go to the Gators anyway.
I mean, if you're just going during the day to swim, it's one thing, but at night when you can't see anything without an oil lamp, I mean, the oil lamps aren't exactly the best.
Okay, so I'm
So,
gonna give you my full thought.
okay.
If I'm a Gator and I'm hungry
Hmm.
and I know that you're there, I'm gonna go the distance. You know.
But I don't know. Have you ever watched any of the videos how gators act, though? It's just like they don't really come after you, they wait for you to come to them.
They're not super aggressive like that. No, they're
Yeah.
not.
True. True.
But I understand what Evo's saying, man. It's like
Yeah.
none of the logistics make any sense. It's like, why are you, first of all, why are you camping out in a swampy ass bayou area
Mhm.
with mosquitoes and gators and snakes and every other horrible thing imaginable? Not to mention just mugged, nasty, hot. I mean,
Mhm.
there are no pluses to it. And even if it were the middle of the day where he was down there with Bobby, and it was like, you know what, we're too close to the water, head back to the tent a mile from here. Oh, and you're three. But it's daylight, so it'll be okay. None of
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. None of it.
There's another case I was kind of reading on not too long ago about like some 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds that would just go out. It's an England case, and there's a lot of 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds that just go out
Hmm.
and wander around. Janet says a missing child. She probably killed him since she was going through so much mental. I don't know how I feel about that one because she didn't really seem to be in the story at all until she found out that they found her kid. But there was no relations between her and these Dunbars. She probably didn't even know of their existence. So I guess
Wait,
I didn't say this, but Julia lives in North Carolina. So I mean, there's a distance here too. And she forgot that she forgot it like Shutter Island, and whether then when the other child came, she took him and to replace a child she kills.
yeah,
Okay, so you think that the mom killed it?
yeah, and I can see that.
Hmm.
Mom tells Bobby, is distraught, and then this replacement Bobby comes along. Yeah, I can see that.
But what was she going through? It doesn't say anything. She wasn't the one who lost a kid.
Well, she lost Bobby, supposedly.
Yeah,
But what I think she's saying is that the mom perhaps accidentally killed Bobby, and whatever the scenario is, and she couldn't come to terms with it. She couldn't tell her husband, right? So then Bobby just disappears, and this story is concocted about, oh, camping at midnight,
yeah. And there's
and
and there's nothing. Like there's no evidence of anything at the campsite.
Exactly.
Because they have money, they did what they could do to cover it up. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's
Cover
what
up.
Possible.
makes sense. I mean, if you got money, I'm sure back then, if you had money, you basically ruled the towns that you lived in.
Yeah, I mean, because if I had money, I would not take my family to something like that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Why is
Makes
this
sense.
upper
Yeah.
class family taking them to a swamp to go
Right,
camping?
exactly. You would take them somewhere else, Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Or
somewhere more interesting.
Florida.
um, to Florida.
Yeah,
So you said,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But that's what I got for the show, guys. It's a little bit shorter than an hour, but it was a case that I was very intrigued about. It's
Mm.
different than some of the ones we've done. I loved how they found out that it wasn't actually Bobby in the end. All these decades later, that this guy was going by Bobby and it wasn't him.
Dude, we
That's
I
knew.
mean,
We
yeah,
knew.
well, we
I'm
knew.
not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Hmm. What'd you think of the case? Though, did you like it?
Very interesting case. I think the biggest thing that really stands out to me is how similar those photos look.
Yeah.
Uh, Everything else, it's a little stretch out on everything and how it lines up. But I'm thinking definitely something happened at the swamp or prior to the swamp um, and caused Bobby to disappear.
Right.
And that's kind of the story that they went with, and they were going to stick to
Well,
it.
and my thing is that two of the big takeaways for me was how involved the press was in this case. And literally back then, newspapers were literally taking journalists that could just write a damn good story. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter if it was real or not. It could
Hmm.
be the most fudge story. If the readers come and you're getting readers in here, we're taking your story.
Yellow
So there's
journalism,
a lot of
baby.
this contradiction going back and forth between these stories, which is then causing the public to go and come up with all these weird assumptions. The kidnapping thing wouldn't have even been brought up had it not been for the press kind of going, "This
Right.
is what happened," you know. So they even spun the story of the him walking to the lake like it never apparently never happened. He disappeared overnight.
Okay. So you got me thinking here. So where are these stories coming from? Are they interviewing people? Or are they interviewing the family? And this has
There
been
was a big
told.
investigation around town. There was. I didn't add a lot of the stuff because there was a lot of the stuff that I mean you can kind of just assume. They
Well, I
did bring in
mean,
people to investigate for to defend Walter. There were people against Walter, but a lot of these people on the Walter side and Julia's side were
mhm.
similar. They couldn't afford to get to court in Louisiana to defend them, so they didn't really
so
have a huge backing on their sides.
so this is what I'm getting at. You know that little game we played as kids. You have a little circle. You
Thank
tell
you,
one
Jan.
thing. You tell one thing to the first person, and by the time it gets around the other side, it's totally different.
Telephone.
Thank you. So what I'm thinking is the people that were interviewing the family were getting mixed stories told to them, and they were
Right,
reporting it. So that's also something that uh, wasn't brought up that I think might be relevant because if the reporters was talking to the family and each reporter was getting a little something different each time, then somebody was lying about what went on.
right. Yep, I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. Um, that and then the other thing was the emotional aspect of the two different parents, right? The two different
Mhm.
moms, the dad. Um, Alonzo, you don't really hear much about in the search of the case. He shows up in a couple of the articles as like he went with Leslie to first look at him and see him. One of the stories said that he was there and that he got hugged immediately by his brother. Another story said that him and Leslie showed up and he woke up and didn't recognize either one of them. I mean, so all these, there's so many different variations of the story that were posted out there. So I kind
Yeah.
of just try to keep to the basic points
Mhm.
um, and without having to go into the details. But just the press just totally screwed up the story and made it way bigger than it needed to be.
Mhm.
Um, And then yes, these two different families. I don't blame either one of them for being the way that they were about it. But
I,
if you got
I
money, unless you're right, unless Percy and unless you're like, oh, he's gone, he died. Maybe even they witnessed him die, and they're like, well, what are we gonna do? Let's find another Bobby.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think there's anybody removing the Bobby doppelganger out of the equation. I think the most innocent person in this entire thing is the peddler.
Hmm.
Walters.
Yeah, because she pawned the kid off on him.
Uh
All
huh.
right. And I don't think she made any attempt to get him back. And the guy's like, well, you know what? I'll take care of you, kid.
Yeah.
So they go off and they're doing their stuff, and the news and this all gets like becomes a dust up because the news gets involved. This guy was just taking care of this kid, but you
Mhm.
potentially have the Dunbars who either murdered or somehow Bobby died, and
Hmm.
now they're trying to steal somebody else's kid. Then you have crappy mother who's coming in and going, oh, I don't have enough money to take this kid, and she just goes off into the sunset.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody in this whole thing that is unblemished except for Walter. I don't think
I
Walter
mean,
was a bad
well,
guy.
I think that I'm not saying that, but I think the most innocent one, in my opinion, would be the boy.
Hmm.
Only because this boy's just going along with whatever. And then out of
Oh no,
nowhere,
I
it's
was
like,
saying you remove him out of the equation
okay.
and just talking about the adults.
But just like from the boy's mindset, man, I just can't imagine being, at this point, he's 5, right? He
Mhm.
gets, they find him, he's 5 years old. Um, and a lot's happened with Walter, who's apparently traveling state to state peddling and doing random odd jobs. So there's probably people in and out of his life. The only thing consistent is him. So yeah, I'm sure like his mom and all the past, he doesn't know enough about it to remember. Um, and then by the time this goes down, he's like, I have no, what's happening? I'm just going to sit here and cry because I've got nothing else to do
Hmm.
because I don't even know what's going on.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's tough for me when it's a kid. This is the first one we've done where it's actually been solved that it was not him. But then
Hmm.
again, it's not solved. If anything, it deepens like, hey, what happened to him? But they
Yes.
bombed the lake, nothing surfaced. Like, I don't know if is there things in the water that within days could just completely make this kid not exist anymore. Like no traces at all. I mean, is that
Rougarou,
possible?
a
Huh?
Rougarou,
I don't know.
that werewolf from the bayou and swamps.
Huh. Oh, yeah. If that's what the angle we're going here, it's not really the angle the story's going, but
I'm just saying,
you
nobody's come
never
up with
know.
a better
Maybe he got
explanation.
abducted by Asians. He was or Asians. Maybe he got abducted by
What?
aliens.
Where did that come from? Are you okay? I saw
That was
his,
a little embarrassing. Just throwing it out there. That's embarrassing.
his picture. Okay.
I'm actually not embarrassed. I think it's hilarious. But yes,
No, it's hilarious. I just,
that's good.
given the time frame, I just pictured these railroad workers, from the Shanghai Inn coming down and being like, well, we're taking this one with us.
My wife just said, "Was that you?" I heard a thump.
You okay?
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. What was the question?
Nothing, man. Just don't.
Oh, that was good. All
That's
right. Well, that was good. This was good, guys. Um, I do want to. I like the scorched ones, but I really do like the show a lot. I like doing this
hmm
with you guys.
Same.
Even Yana over here has been saying that.
Sweet.
Oh, she said, "Watch out for the Asians."
Oh
Yes.
no.
No. He could have been abducted by aliens. Yes. Possible. It's a theory. Hey,
Games of
we all
Asia.
have moments. Okay, mine are just more common.
Oh my god.
Good. All right,
Oh,
guys. Well, let's do this again. Let's try and do it. Like I said, every 2 weeks would be nice.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. I'm
Well,
okay with that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. You've been talking about wanting to hide your kid and hide your wife.
Ha!
hide your kid,
Yeah, we'll
hide your
be in
wife. The
touch.
swamp Asians are coming.
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna have to make a clip of me falling just just to relieve a little bit of that, embarrassment. I'll just post it out there. Funny. But all right, guys. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching Yanit. You've been wanting to watch them live, so I'm glad you got to get some input in here. Jan, thank you for tuning in, and Sean, it's always wonderful having you. What do you got coming up, man? Got any shows coming up?
This weekend, I'm opening for Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live, the guy that
Oh.
played Mango and
Yes.
in the Night at the Roxbury.
Nice.
He also plays in Monkey Bone.
Yes.
He's
So
the dead gymnast who keeps throwing his organs at people.
so I'm got that, and then I'm all over the place, man. So
Hey, make
check out my website.
make friends with him, and then get him on our show.
I'll do my best.
I know. I'm just whatever. It's all good. Evolution, man, you got a few things. We're trying to get this marathon going, man. We're trying to get this. What you got?
Working on the marathon still. It was coming along, and then all the platform things switching around, kind of to screwball everything, and then all of our schedules kind of went haywire. But what's going on now is still coming. There's been some snags here and there.
There's definitely some complications that I can confirm because I've been trying to help them figure out a proper way to do it.
Yes.
There's complications when it's halfway around the world.
Yeah, it's international. So it's been a learning process as well as everything else. But it is coming, and we got shows lined up to get recorded and shot. A lot of differences in the signals and whatnot. Got to get some different equipment set up and whatnot. But we're in the works. It's coming, and it's gonna happen. So just stay tuned. It's coming along. So we got uh, the marathon and the
We're gonna do a
what's going on too.
consistent here too as well.
And we're shooting Journey 3. So yeah, Journey 3 is being shot now. So look out for that.
I gotta say, the longest thing I've ever edited was a 2.5-hour documentary. And it was this guy's fault. It was his fault. It was his fault.
But you know what? It took longer because some very important portions of the documentary came up missing.
Yeah, which
But
we ended up finding.
Fortunately, we found it. Fortunately, we found it.
I don't know how, but it happened.
Hey, anything that's lost can be found.
Right. Correct. And Sean, I don't know. So Sean works multiple jobs. We all do our things, but are you going to start having some more time on maybe like Wednesday nights?
Yeah, actually, my schedule, because I'm very thin on classes this semester, which I'm grateful for. And I'm typically doing stand up on the weekends. So yeah, man, like Wednesday nights are open now. If the fake Davin thing does start shooting in Q3, then I have no idea what my schedule is going to be like at that point. But
You're going to be helping with that, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, and hey, my schedule's kind of changed a little bit. I've got some I do work some longer hours at work now, which isn't a bad thing. It just kind of takes away from the opportunities that are this.
Mm.
So we just got to figure out a way to kind of, even if it's 3 or 4 shows a month, just something to keep you guys the opportunity to interact with us in these shows because I love doing it. I continue to make content, and honestly, the reason I continue making content is because it's so easy for me to just post something, and it doesn't hurt. It hurts no one, and as a matter of fact, it just grows the network more and more. Like I said, we're averaging over 1 million viewers every week now. I used to be saying, "Oh,
Crazy.
hey, we hit it this month." I averaged that a week on across all platforms, and that's all because you guys help with the support. So, thank you guys so much. And even though Sean, you're here when you can be, you're still part of JG's Lounge, man. So we're
Thanks,
gonna keep
brother.
going. Yep.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
All right. So until next time, everybody, just stay tuned. If you got any questions, you can reach out to literally any of us on Facebook, all three of us,
Take care.
and we can talk about things. We'll see you next time.
Mhm.